Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Stump, the Wells Fargo Vision and Values Statement, which you frequently cite, says, quote, "We believe in values lived, not phrases memorized. If you want to find out how strong a company's ethics are, don't listen to what its people say, watch what they do." So let's do that. Since this massive years-long scam came to light, you have said repeatedly, quote, "I am accountable." But what have you actually done to hold yourself accountable? Have you resigned as CEO or chairman of Wells Fargo?
The board, I serve at
Have you resigned?
No, I've not.
All right. Have you returned one nickel of the millions of dollars that you were paid while this scam was going on?
Well, first of all, this was by 1% of our people.
That's not my question. My question is about responsibility. Have you returned one nickel of the millions of dollars that you were paid while this scam was going on?
The board will take care of that.
Have you returned one nickel of the money you earned while this scam was going on?
And the board will do.
I will take that as a no then. Have you
June 15th, 2015, 2:34 p.m., Glendale, Arizona. Mary Keckler, 80 years old, is staring at her Wells Fargo statement. There's a savings account she doesn't remember opening, a credit card with a $39 annual fee she'd never applied for, a checking account with a $12 monthly service charge she never authorized. She calls Wells Fargo. The representative says she must have forgotten. After all, she's 80. Memory isn't what it used to be. "Young man, I taught mathematics for 40 years. I can remember every student who ever failed my class. I did not open these accounts." Wells Fargo rep, "Ma'am, I show you opened them in branch on March 3rd. I was in the hospital on March 3rd, having hip surgery. Would you like to close the accounts? I'd like to know how I opened them while unconscious." Mary wasn't alone, wasn't senile, wasn't confused. She was victim number 2,847,293 of approximately 3.5 million. Across America, millions of people are discovering the same thing. Wells Fargo has been opening accounts in their names, without asking, without telling, without permission, without shame. Dead people had accounts opened post-mortem. Homeless people had home equity lines. Children had credit cards. Dogs had debit cards. One branch manager in Arizona opened accounts for her husband's mistress, who didn't exist. She created fake accounts for a fake person having a fake affair. That's commitment to fraud. That's next-level dedication to your sales quota. This isn't a story about a few bad apples. This is about an entire orchard that decided fraud was a fruit group. This is about how one of America's oldest banks, founded during the actual gold rush, decided the real gold was in your checking account, and they were going to mine it whether you knew it or not. 3.5 million fake accounts, 528,000 bogus bill pay enrollments, 565,000 unauthorized credit card applications, 1.5 million deposit accounts opened without permission, 14,000 accounts that incurred fees and charges. Their logo? A stagecoach. How fitting. They've been committing highway robbery since 1852. They just traded the horses for computers and the masks for MBA degrees. Their slogan? Together we'll go far. They just forgot to mention they'd be going through your wallet to get there.
To understand how Wells Fargo became a criminal enterprise with ATMs, you need to understand what it was, what it became, and the exact moment it decided fraud was a business model. March 18th, 1852. Henry Wells and William Fargo start a company in San Francisco. The gold rush is on. Miners need to send gold east. Easterners need to send money west. Wells Fargo will carry both, for a fee. They become the Amazon of the Wild West. If it needed moving, Wells Fargo moved it. Gold, mail, people, hope, dreams, occasionally bullets when bandits attacked. They survive everything. The Civil War, the 1906 San Francisco earthquake. Their building collapsed. Their safe survived. The Great Depression, 2 world wars, the savings and loan crisis. For 146 years, Wells Fargo is boring, stable, reliable, the vanilla ice cream of banking. And that's fine. That's what banking should be. Then comes 1998. Wells Fargo merges with Norwest Corporation of Minneapolis. On paper, Wells Fargo bought Norwest. In reality, Norwest bought Wells Fargo and kept the name because it sounded more trustworthy than Norwest. It's like if McDonald's bought Ruth's Chris Steakhouse and kept selling Big Macs under the steakhouse name. Same crap, fancier sign. The new CEO, Richard Dick Kovacevic. Dick comes from Norwest with a vision. Not serve customers, not safe banking. His vision has a name. 8 is great. Every customer should have 8 Wells Fargo products. Why 8? Kovacevic, actual quote. The average customer uses 2.2 products. If we can get them to 8, we'll have the most profitable customers in banking. 8, not 7, that's leaving money on the table. Not 9, that seems greedy. 8, like it's a magic number pulled from the banking god's ass. The 8 products. 1, checking account. 2, savings account. 3, credit card. 4, debit card. 5, mortgage. 6, auto loan. 7, personal line of credit. 8, insurance. What the average person actually needs? Checking account, maybe a savings account. That's it. 2007, John Stumpf becomes CEO. Stumpf looks like what would happen if a potato went to Harvard Business School. He has the charisma of a foreclosure notice and the ethics of a payday loan shark. His innovation? He doesn't want 8 products. He wants great. Great with a number 8. The kind of pun that makes dad jokes look like Shakespeare. Under Stumpf, Wells Fargo branches stop being banks. They become sales floors, pressure cookers, fraud factories. And Wall Street loves it. 2007 stock price, $30. 2010 stock price, $28. Survived financial crisis. 2013 stock price, $45. 2015 stock price, $58. Stumpf is on every magazine. Fortune, the bank that works. Forbes, America's best bank. Business Week, the Warren Buffett of banking. Warren Buffett actually owned 10% of Wells Fargo, so technically, the Warren Buffett of banking was Warren Buffett. But sure, let's pretend John Stumpf invented not being a complete disaster during 2008.
Now, let me explain how Wells Fargo turned 260,000 employees into either criminals or victims, sometimes both. Picture a Wells Fargo branch. Looks normal, right? Tellers behind glass, bankers at desks, that weird smell of old carpet and desperation. But look closer. Behind the teller line, a whiteboard. Daily goals, 20 products per teller. Current sales, updated hourly. Red marks, anyone below quota. On every computer, a program called Motivator. Real-time sales tracking, peer rankings visible to all, your face turns red if you're behind. Literally, your avatar turns red. Sabrina Bertrand, former personal banker. Every morning we'd have a huddle. They'd read out everyone's sales from yesterday. If you had 0, you had to explain why in front of everyone. The morning huddle. Manager, okay team, yesterday we did 87 products. We need 120 today. Sarah, you had 0 yesterday. Explain. Sarah, my customers just wanted to make deposits. Manager, no excuses. Everyone else is selling. Are you not a team player? A day in Wells Fargo hell. 8 a.m. huddle, public shaming. 9 a.m. open, start selling. 10 a.m. manager check-in, why only 2 products. 12 p.m. lunch, eating canceled if behind quota. 2 p.m. district manager calls, this branch is failing. 4 p.m. desperation, quotas still not met. 5 p.m. close, stay late, make more calls. 7 p.m. finally leave, unpaid overtime. 11 p.m. text from manager, tomorrow better be different. The human cost. Wells Fargo employees reported 68% experienced anxiety attacks, 54% were prescribed medication for stress, 41% experienced depression, 32% had stress-related physical illness, 28% considered quitting daily, 15% had suicidal thoughts, 100% hated their fucking jobs. Bill Batto, former branch manager. I saw tellers vomit from stress. One had a seizure during a sales meeting. The district manager asked if she could still make her quota from the hospital. The impossible math. 2010, branch quotas 5,000 products per month. 2011, 6,000 products per month. 2012, 7,000 products per month. 2013, 8,000 products per month. 2014, 10,000 per month. 2015, 12,000 products per month. Population of typical branch area, 20,000 people. Existing Wells Fargo customers, 4,000. Products needed per customer, 3 per month. Every month, forever. Unless your customers are reproducing asexually and each offspring needs 8 bank accounts, this math doesn't work. But math is for people who don't understand GRA8. The chain of pressure. CEO pressures regionals. Growth or goodbye. Regional pressures district. Hit numbers or you're done. District pressures branch. Sell or suffer. Branch pressures employees. Produce or perish. Employees pressure customers. Please, I need this job. Former teller, anonymous. I hadn't hit my quota in 3 days. My manager pulled me into his office and said, either you make 20 sales today or don't come back tomorrow. I had a 2-year-old. I needed that job. So I did what everyone else was doing. I cheated. And that's when the creativity began. When good people, desperate people, people with kids and mortgages and no other options, started doing bad things. Because Wells Fargo didn't just encourage fraud, they designed a system where fraud was the only way to survive.
So, how do you sell 8 products to someone who only wants 1? You don't. You commit identity theft and call it cross-selling. Let me walk you through the Wells Fargo fraud playbook, the actual techniques employees used to survive. Technique number 1, pinning. Customer comes in to open checking account. While they're signing paperwork, you click Add Savings Account. Customer asks, what's this extra account? You, oh, it's free, helps with overdraft protection. Customer, I don't want, it's already done, no fees, don't worry. Reality, fees kick in after 3 months when the balance is 0. Technique number 2, bundling. To get a checking account, you need our full package. Package? I just want checking. It's bank policy, checking, savings, and credit card. Is that really policy? Do you want the account or not? It wasn't policy. It was fraud. Technique number 3, sandbagging. Monday, open 10 accounts. Don't submit them. Tuesday, behind quota, submit 2 from Monday. Wednesday, still behind, submit 3 more. Thursday, district manager visiting, submit remaining 5. Friday, wow, great sales day.
Technique number 4, gaming. Open account with $10. Hit sales quota. Wait 3 days. Close account. Customer never knows. You keep sales credit. Repeat 1,000 times. The fake information problem. Every account needs an email address, a phone number, a physical address, a PIN number, and security questions. Customers weren't providing these for accounts they didn't know existed, so employees got creative. Actual fake emails used. No name at wellsfargo.com, used 9,500 times. 1234 at wellsfargo.com, used 7,200 times. AA at aa.com, used 5,100 times. None at none.com, used 4,900 times. And fuckthis at gmail.com, used once, but respect. Addresses. 123 Main Street, every city in America apparently. The bank branch's own address. Homeless, literally typed homeless. Neighboring businesses. Employees' own addresses, thousands of times. Default PINs. 000, used 100,000 plus times. 1234, used 89,000 times. 1111, used 76,000 times. Customer's birth year illegally obtained. Yes, Wells Fargo's fraud was so lazy they couldn't even create original fake data. It's like cheating on a test by writing the answer for every question. The preferred victims. Who did they target? The people who couldn't fight back. Elderly customers. Mrs. Johnson, you need this for Medicare. This helps with Social Security deposits. Your grandson might need to send your money. Reality, none of this was true. Non-English speakers. Documents in English they couldn't read. Verbal explanations they couldn't understand. Just sign here, here, and here. CCC is good for you. College students. Required for your student loan. Mandatory for financial aid. The university requires this. All lies. Homeless individuals. Yes, they opened accounts for homeless people using the branch address with fake phone numbers for people with no money to deposit. Ashley, a former teller, said, "We had a customer who was clearly mentally disabled. Couldn't write his name. The manager opened 8 accounts for him. 8. He couldn't count to 8. The kids weren't safe either. Wells Fargo employees opened accounts for teenagers without parental consent, children as young as 10, infants using their social security numbers, and unborn children using ultrasound photos as ID. They were opening accounts for fetuses. Fetuses, that's not early financial planning. That's prenatal identity theft. Some employees tried to stop it. They reported the fraud. They called HR. They filed complaints. They blew the whistle. You know what happened to them? They were hunted down and destroyed like they'd personally insulted John Stump's mother. Bill Beto's story. Bill Beto, branch manager in Pennsylvania, 14 years with Wells Fargo, stellar reviews, customer favorite. 2013, reports fake accounts to HR. HR response, we'll investigate. 2 weeks later, his sales goals double. 1 month later, written up for poor performance. 2 months later, fired for not meeting standards. Wells Fargo files a U-5 form saying he was terminated for failure to perform job duties. This goes on his permanent record. He can never work in banking again. His career is destroyed for telling the truth. Julie Miller's story. Julie Miller, personal banker in California, single mother of 2, calls ethics hotline about fraud. Next day, manager knows she called. How? The anonymous hotline wasn't anonymous. Following week, moved to worst branch in the district. Following month, fired for being 1 minute late. The Purge List. 2010 to 2016, at least 5,300 employees fired. Official reason? Sales misconduct. Reality? Mix of people committing fraud and people reporting it. Wells Fargo's genius? Fire both the criminals and the witnesses. That way, no one talks. Yesenia Guicon's story. Yesenia Guitron, St. Helena, California branch, reports fraud to her manager, ignored, his manager, ignored, HR, ignored, ethics hotline, ignored, senior management, fired. Her termination letter? Failure to meet sales goals. Her actual sales? Above average. Her real crime? Having a conscience. The retaliation playbook. If you reported fraud, here's what happened. Week 1, your sales goals mysteriously double. Week 2, you're assigned the worst shifts. Week 3, negative performance review appears. Week 4, written up for minor infractions. Week 5, final warning for attitude problems. Week 6, terminated for unrelated reasons. The U5 weapon. Form U5, official termination record in banking, goes to FINRA, Industry Financial Regulatory Authority. All banks see it. It's permanent. It's career death. Wells Fargo weaponized it. Report fraud? U5 says you're unethical. Refuse to cheat? U5 says you're incompetent. Try to transfer? U5 says you're unemployable. Claudia Ponce de Leon. I reported fake accounts in 2011. They fired me, then put on my U5 that I was unable to perform job duties. I have an MBA. I speak 3 languages. I can't get a job at any bank because Wells Fargo said I'm incompetent. Who didn't get fired? Branch managers hitting impossible quotas? Promoted. District managers overseeing fraud? Bonuses. Regional managers ignoring complaints? Stock options. Executives knowing everything? Millions in compensation. It's like the mafia, but with worse morals and better dental coverage. Internal email 2014. Multiple employees reporting ethical concerns about sales practices. Response: identify the employees. We need to address their performance issues. Not address the ethical concerns, address the performance issues of people reporting ethical concerns. That's not management, that's witness intimidation.
For years, Wells Fargo got away with it. The complaints were isolated. The fired employees were silenced. The fake accounts kept multiplying like rabbits on Viagra. Then came 2013 and Bob Nguyen. Bob Nguyen, investigator for the Los Angeles City Attorney, starts noticing something weird. Wells Fargo customers keep complaining about accounts they didn't open. 1 or 2? Maybe confusion. Dozens? That's strange. Hundreds? That's a pattern. Thousands? That's a crime spree. Nguyen starts digging, subpoenas records, interviews employees. What he finds is staggering. In Los Angeles alone, unauthorized accounts everywhere, fake emails by the thousands, employees admitting to fraud, managers ordering fraud, executives ignoring fraud. May 4th, 2015, the Los Angeles Times publishes Nguyen's findings. Headline: Wells Fargo's pressure cooker sales culture comes at a cost. Wells Fargo's response? These are isolated incidents. Isolated incidents. Like saying World War II was an isolated conflict. Technically true if you isolate it to just one world war. The Los Angeles Times article triggers federal investigations, more customer complaints, employee whistleblowers emerging, other newspapers investigating, Congress asking questions. Internal Wells Fargo email, May 5th, 2015. We need to get ahead of this story. Fire anyone involved in unauthorized accounts immediately. Not stop the fraud,
not help the customers, fire people and hope it goes away. May to September 2015, Wells Fargo fires 1,000 employees. Reason given? Sales misconduct. Real reason? Scapegoating. They're throwing bodies off the sinking ship, hoping sharks will be satisfied. September 8th, 2016, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau drops the hammer. Fine, $185 million. CFPB, $100 million. Los Angeles, $50 million. Office of Comptroller, $35 million. Wells Fargo's daily profit, $57 million. The fine equals 3.2 days of profit. That's like fining Jeff Bezos a nickel for running a red light in a stolen car while on fire, carrying nuclear weapons. The scope: 3.5 million unauthorized accounts, 528,000 online bill pay enrollments, 565,000 credit card applications, 14,000 accounts charged fees. Time period 2002 to 2016, 14 years. John Stumpf's response? I am deeply sorry that we failed to fulfill our responsibility to our customers. Failed to fulfill responsibility. They didn't fail. They succeeded. They successfully stole from millions of people for 14 years.
September 29, 2016. John Stumpf is called before Congress. He's about to get the public spanking of a lifetime. Stumpf shows up looking like a thumb in an expensive suit. Behind him, victims, former employees, reporters, America. Mr. Stumpf, you squeezed your employees to the breaking point so they would cheat customers and you could drive up the value of your stock. You should resign. You should give back the money you took while this scam was going on, and you should be criminally investigated. Stumpf's response? I am deeply sorry. I accept full responsibility. No, you haven't. Have you returned one nickel of the millions you earned while the scam was going on? The board will take that into consideration. Have you fired a single senior executive? No. You haven't resigned. You haven't returned a single nickel. You haven't fired a single executive. Your definition of accountable is to push the blame to low-level employees. It's gutless leadership. The gallery applauds. In Congress, during testimony. That never happens. Senator Elizabeth Warren. You fired 5,300 frontline workers for unauthorized conduct. How do you only fire frontline workers when this was a systemic problem? We don't believe it was systemic. Not systemic. Just 5,300 isolated incidents that happened to occur simultaneously across the entire country for 14 years. Total coincidence. Stumps hauled during fraud years. 2012, $22.9 million. 2013, $20.6 million. 2014, $21.4 million. 2015, $19.3 million. 2016, partial, $17.4 million. Stock holdings, $200+ million. Total, nearly $300 million while fraud was happening. October 12, 2016, Stumpf retires. His punishment, gives up $41 million in stock awards. His golden parachute, still keeps $134 million. Oh, no, he only kept $134 million. Someone start a food drive. The poor man only has enough money to buy a small country. Carrie Tolstead, head of community banking where all fraud happened. Her compensation during fraud, $125 million. Her punishment, pays back $67 million. She keeps $58 million. She ran the division committing the fraud. She knew. She encouraged it. She gets to keep $58 million. You'd think after being caught running the largest banking fraud in modern history, Wells Fargo would, I don't know, stop committing fraud?
Wells Fargo's greatest hits since 2016. 2017, auto insurance fraud. Charged 570,000 customers for insurance they didn't need. 20,000 cars repossessed due to these charges. Some customers homeless due to repossessions. Fine, $1 billion. 2018, mortgage rate lock fraud. Charged customers for mortgage rate extensions, even when delays were Wells Fargo's fault. Settlement, $98 million. 2020, fake job interviews. Conducted fake interviews with diverse candidates, never intended to hire them. Just needed to meet diversity quotas. Currently under investigation. 2022, mortgage overcharges. Illegally charged mortgage borrowers wrongfully foreclosed on homes. Fine, $3.7 billion, largest ever. 2023, still finding fake accounts. Accounts from the original scandal still being discovered. Some customers just finding out now, 7 years later. They're like the herpes of banking. Just when you think it's gone, surprise, more fraud. The new leadership. CEO Charles Scharf, 2019 to present. His fix? We're changing our culture. Also him, cuts 26,000 jobs during the pandemic. Also him, makes $24.5 million in 2022. Their new slogan, "This is Wells Fargo." Not, "We've changed," not, "Trust us now," just, "This is Wells Fargo." At least they're finally being honest. This is Wells Fargo, a criminal enterprise with convenient ATM locations. Wells Fargo stock price, during fraud revelation, $45, today, $47. The market doesn't care, Wall Street doesn't care. The fraud was priced in like a mild inconvenience. The ongoing damage. People are still discovering ruined credit scores, denied mortgages due to fake accounts, job applications rejected due to credit issues, relationships destroyed over financial stress, retirements delayed, dreams deferred. Victim testimony 2023. I just found out last month that Wells Fargo opened accounts in my name in 2013. For 10 years, my credit was destroyed. I couldn't buy a house. I couldn't get a car loan. I thought I was just bad with money. Turns out, I was just a Wells Fargo customer. Wells Fargo opened 3.5 million fake accounts. They destroyed credit scores, ruined lives, and stole from millions of Americans. Their punishment? Some fines that totaled less than 1 quarter's profit. Today, Wells Fargo is the 4th largest bank in America. They have 70 million customers. Their market cap is $160 billion. The executives who orchestrated the fraud are enjoying their millions in retirement. The employees who reported it can't get jobs in banking. The customers who were defrauded are still finding fake accounts. Wells Fargo started in 1852 carrying gold across the Wild West. Every time you use a Wells Fargo ATM, remember, there's a non-zero chance they're opening an account in your name right now, while you're standing there, without telling you. Check your credit report, check your accounts, check everything. Because somewhere, right now, a Wells Fargo employee is behind on their quota, and your social security number is looking really attractive. Thank you for following through this episode of Company Scandal. Remember to like and subscribe for more intriguing stories, because it doesn't end with Wells Fargo.